we're live. Okay, guys, hope we're all doing well out there. I'm joined today with my good buddy Alex here, our acoustic guitar maestro and I must say expert purchaser at Peach Guitars as well. He makes my life a lot easier, so well done, Alex. But anyway, subject for today is the new Martin Custom Shop North Street range of guitars. I nearly said expert there because I'm, always get nervous doing these sorts of things anyway, especially when we're live. But it is the North Street series, and Alex is holding one in his hand here. What have we got here?
This is the 28. So basically, what this range is doing is paying tribute to the North Street Martin factory, which was the older factory. And it's taking some of their sort of most loved models, like a 28 and 18 style and a 35, and they're doing them with some specs that you can't normally get, and it's just really great specs. So the main difference is we've got a Dirondack spruce tops across the range. The 18s have got Sinker mahogany back and sides. And then the 28s you can either get with this gorgeous wild grain East Indian rosewood or just in standard East Indian rosewood. And then
That's
the
a
sort
wild
of,
grain.
oh yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Sorry.
And then the sort of main thing, which is the extra sort of tribute and tip of the hat with these to the sort of 30s eras Martins, is that they're herringbone. On the 28s, you've got the herringbone trim, which stopped around 1947, I believe, due to sort of shortages from wartime materials. And you've also got, most importantly, probably the fact that they're very lightly braced. So the bracing inside is scalloped in the old fashion. So again, about mid-40s, Martin stopped bracing them in this fashion because people were using heavy strings. And so to combat the extra tension, rather than have much of a rebuild, Martin just changed their bracing to be sort of more rigid. So we've basically got custom shop guitars exclusive to the UK and Ireland, really great specs that you just don't normally see, and really reasonably priced for what they are. So I think it's like a cracking series, basically.
Well, we kind of looked through the range earlier with the standard series and the modern deluxe, plus we were looking at the authentics and stuff. And it looks like this is the only range that has the Adirondack tops and the golden era bracing that Alex was talking about. So these are going to be a limited run guitar that I can't tell you what the numbers are going to be or anything like that, and they'll be available while until the stock runs out, and kind of that's it. But they, like Alex said, they're good at kind of bridging a gap, and they really are kind of a tip of the hat to those original pre-war guitars. But you know what, like as we all kind of get used to playing guitars with thinner necks and lower actions and stuff like that, as much as we absolutely love the authentic series from Martin, when you pick one of those up, you know, you need, especially on one of the dreadnoughts, if you've got a very light touch, you know, and you just give it a gentle strum, the guitar doesn't like really, you know, it's only in first gear, isn't it? It doesn't really jump out at you.
When you see what the greats can do on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw someone like
for.
Billy Strings play it, he'd be absolutely hammering it and going for it. And then when you pick one up, you think like, well, why can't I get like that sound? It's because he's really, really driving, you know, the front end almost. I kind of, it's like an Adirondack top authentic series guitar is like having a 150 watt 2-rock or one of those 200 watt Marshall Majors. You know, most players would go and play through that and just be like, oh, you know, it's just way too overwhelming. But then you try like an 18 watt Marshall or a 22 watt deluxe reverb, and you crank it up and you think, oh yeah, you know, that's got that kind of little bit of extra compression there. But what they've done with these guitars, they kind of, because it has that bracing, it kind of softens it up so you get that perfect Adirondack tone, but you don't have to kind of like really, you know, smash into it quite so hard to get the dynamics to come out of the guitar. And we've got that lovely low oval profile on the neck shape as well, so you're not instantly picking up a guitar with a real baseball bat of a neck. I mean, those big necks and all that old-fashioned stuff, it has a thing, doesn't it?
I think
it's an awesome sound.
I think because you and I have worked with guitars for so long, we play so many that we sort of find it like okay to adapt to any, at least for like demonstrating or enjoying a guitar for what it is. But if you're choosing something to own for yourself,
Yeah.
you know, a big neck like that, or for a, you know, a customer looking at it, it would be sort of like quite a thing to consider. Whereas with this, it's just you're going to pick it up and it's just going to feel like a modern, comfortable Martin neck that you're used to.
I mean, what it kind of feels like to me is they've taken like a little bit of inspiration from other guitar makers. Like, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is like the Fender Custom Shop, because in the past when the Fender Custom Shop first started making relics and things like that, you know, the 51 Nocaster had such a huge neck on it that it would put so many people off, but the tone of those guitars is just so classic and undeniable, you know, that a lot of people would just have to put up with it and, you know, and just maybe struggle a little bit with the necks. But what Martin have done kind of with this range, which is like kind of what Fender do with their Custom Shop range, where you can just get the core specs of a legendary guitar and just make it, you know, more useful to
Take
the
advantage
players
of some of the
the players
modern
of today,
technology.
because and also we mustn't forget to mention that it also
Adjustable
has
truss.
adjustable truss rod. So if you're looking at some of the authentic guitars, they're going to have a huge neck, you know, the Adirondack top, that kind of you know, the super heavy gauge strings and all that, and it's a hell of an experience. I encourage everybody to, if you ever get a chance to try one, to play one, because you know, you'll really know what we're talking about.
They're fantastic.
Here. But this is kind of like a magic spot, I think, in the Martin range, where you're just getting the best of both worlds, aren't you?
Yeah, so maybe I'll do a little sort of
few... Stop me rabbiting on for a bit. Why don't you play? So let's just...
so this is a 28, so D28. So what that means is a Dreadnought in the 28 style. So going by what we've said so far, we've got the herringbone trim. When you see people who love old Martins, when they manage to actually get an old herringbone guitar, then the value of them is pretty high, because they didn't, once they stopped doing them in the sort of late 40s, it wasn't until the mid 70s Martin started doing herringbone again.
And they started to call it a HD then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Rather than it being
just a D.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've got that. This one is one of the ones that's got the wild grain East Indian rosewood back and sides.
Just show it up to the camera there, Alex.
Yeah, really, really lovely. And it's got an aged toner on the top, and the rosette all sort of aged to match. Lovely looking pickguard faux tortoise shell. And it's got a lovely low end to it. I'll play a few chords and stuff. I mean, I think they're the balance. I'll go through the strings one by one. Just really even, lovely punch on the low strings. And if I play a little bit harder, like a bluegrass player might. I don't feel like the guitar's starting to squash or anything. I feel like it handles it just fine. And I think all those players who are really good, they're playing loud and clear, but they're not super tense and they're not pushing it to ridiculous volumes because they're just conk out. But this it's just everything you'd want. So I think it's just a really cool looking, easy feeling, great sounding D28. So basically kind of very worthy of the Custom Shop label it's got. Very cool guitar.
So each of the guitars come with really nice paperwork and a Custom Shop hard case as well. We'll get one of those out and show it to you in a minute. But why don't we move on to one of the mahogany guitars? Did we talk about the Sinker yet?
Yeah, so basically the 18s, back when Martin would have been building these sort of golden era 18 series guitars. The main difference, I should say, with an 18 over a 28 is it's mahogany back and sides as opposed to rosewood. So basically, when they were building them originally, they would have used very old mahogany, which just isn't available anymore. But we've got mahogany on these, which is literally centuries old. So this is sinker mahogany, and that's logs that lay on the bottom of riverbeds for hundreds of years that have been taken out and used, and these sound beautiful. And this, it's just really cool to think that wood there is actually hundreds of years old. So it's I think that wood's getting pretty scarce now, but it's sinker mahogany on the back, and again a Adirondack spruce, otherwise known as red spruce, on the top.
And all these guitars all have the 1 3/4 inch nut width,
Yeah.
and the 25.4 inch
Yeah,
scale.
across the board.
So
yeah.
it's the traditional kind of the longer scale and wider nut width, as it were. for
Yeah.
more traditional mic stuff. I'm just going to move. Can you just move your mic down just a smidge? We're saying they're telling us to move it. Right, done.
Here we go. Let's try the fingers on this one. I've got no nails at the moment. I'm just playing with the flesh, and I'm finding it really easy to get it to like project into the room. Let's try it a bit more bluesy. And maybe some flat picking as well. High register. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know how much the, YouTube is going to be compressing the sound, but just sitting here and listening, there's just so much dynamics that's coming from the guitar. I can really hear kind of a difference and a jump in volumes from times when Alex is going from the strumming, and then when he's doing the finger picking stuff, it's really soft and really rich and mellow sounding, but the definition and the separation between the notes is just superb.
Could bring a melody out sort of quite easily over the top if you're playing more lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just really sweet sounding guitar.
I seem to remember the 18 being the D18 being really beautiful as well. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, I think the D18 is always a real killer, like bluegrass type guitar. I always feel like, you know, we were watching that video of who was it we were watching earlier? He had an 18. I was like, oh, he's got a D18.
Oh, Jason Isbell.
Yeah, Jason Isbell, that's right. And you can just see it straight away with the tortoise guard and everything. It's
Yeah, and
really
so we
rich.
got tortoiseshell binding rather than the herringbone. I think when you watch interviews with the greats of the kind of flat picking world, someone like Brian Sutton, they're torn between 28s and 18s. There's no sort of real definitive, oh yeah, you've got to get a 28, or you've just because the 18 costs sort of less comparatively, maybe on a standard series or something. But with these ones, they're special anyway because they're the Sinker mahogany. But they're different voices and they're both really great. Loads of volume into that. Yeah, again, just feels really easy to play, and it looks really cool, which, let's face it, as guitar lovers, is a important factor.
Totally.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Nice dark fingerboard, nice abalone kind of dots there. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Alta 35, that's a real beauty.
We need to talk about this because this is special for a few different reasons. I mean, this is in the range and it's only available in the wild grain East Indian rosewood. But a lot of you Martin fans out there will know that the 35 wasn't a pre-war appointment guitar, was it?
No,
It was kind of...
didn't exist.
Was it...
About 20...
No, I think it was the
60s,
Yeah,
yeah.
60s, wasn't it, that the 35 was introduced. So it gave this range, it kind of gave Martin
Had a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, a little bit of fun. It gave him a chance to kind of go back in a time machine almost and kind of show what they could have done if it was made
if it
as a
existed.
pre-war guitar.
So the 35, you've got the three-piece back, which looks beautiful, has no sort of effect on the sound in any negative way. Just a lovely looking thing.
Yeah, that's zigzag striking on the back.
that's really beautiful with the wild grain on that. This model only available in wild grain. We've got a bound fingerboard, bound body on the top and bottom. Yeah, it's like John was saying. It's they're kind of thinking, what if there was a 35 that had golden era scalloped lighter bracing and a Dirondack spruce top, and then what if we then gave it a truss rod and a modern feeling neck as well? So really cool.
Play that in a different way, that guitar.
Do I?
Yeah, it's got because the sound is less like the mahogany has got that real like sledgehammer tone, hasn't it? But that's more scooped almost.
It's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, if I mean, sometimes because I love lots of different styles of music and I hear a great bluegrass pick or something, I think, oh, I'll have a go at that. And then I usually fluff it up or something. If I just play this guitar more like me, which is probably what I switched to naturally from what John's saying. I could just sit and play this for ages, just strumming it. Really great.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by this series, and I just think, you know, the chance to get something like this is rare. I mean, it's an exclusive to the UK and Ireland run. We've got this first batch. We may be able to get a second batch, but we're not even sure on that at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just can't get anything at this kind of with this kind of spec without unless you decided to sort of go to us and sort of like say, can you get Martin to build us a guitar of this spec?
Yeah, as a one-off.
Yeah, normally you're just not going to see.
And as a one-off, if you ordered a guitar like this, it would probably be about $3,000 more as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the best of the best, I think, really, with in terms of when it comes to the perfect blend of old and new, and you don't want 45 style inlays or anything like that. This is as much guitar as the modern player could really ever wish for, I think, really, because like we said before, it has that perfect blend of the old and the new. I mean, if you're, going down a serious bluegrass rabbit hole of, trying to recreate some of those sounds, then the Authentics are there. If you're you're a player that just wants to kind of get, into the Martin family and the vibe, then obviously the standard series guitars or the reimagined standard series are great. But this is definitely in that middle there.
Go into one of these. We're really proud to have the standard series, and they're fantastic. Just a D28 standard, they're great. But I think if I owned something like this, I'd feel it was quite a special piece. And who knows, like it's the kind of thing where if you had it your lifetime and that was your guitar, I think it's a bit of magic which someone else isn't going to just be able to go in and pick up off the shelf. I think it's really a really cool piece. Yeah.
Yeah, and as my good friend Diane Ponzio said, the worst that's ever going to sound is the day you buy it.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true.
Unless you put your foot through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to show the case, but why don't I get out the
case candy. So it's a sort of 5-ply, excellent quality case, the Geeb case, multiple latches, nice big section inside for the capo and the picks and everything. It comes with some, I think the paperwork's got sort of gold leaf text. I believe it comes with the sort of embossed little leather folder from Made in Scotland, I believe.
Yeah, that's another thing that these guitars designed by and spec'd out by Westside Distribution.
Mm-hmm. Great supplier.
Because they're based up in Scotland, so they had these nice books made.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks lovely. I think you've got a spec sheet as well.
Yeah.
So nice. You can, yeah.
Yeah, I won't get it all out. I'll save that for the owner of this beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
Give this.
So I think
kind
this is
forgotten about this one a little bit, haven't we?
Well, we just keep getting distracted. I'll keep waffling on, and I just want to play. I just love playing.
The power of the Dreadnought.
Yeah. So this is this one is not the wild grain. I believe this is just East Indian rosewood. Lovely dark rosewood, gorgeous. Nothing wrong with that at all. And if you don't want the extra sort of aesthetic flair of the wild grain, these ones run a little cheaper. That's lovely. I feel like, this guitar isn't holding me back at all. I feel like if you gave this to a player like better than me, then it would just, I don't think it's going to restrict anyone. It just feels like it's going to be like as good as you can make it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice. Cool.
There's a definite kind of family of tone, isn't there, amongst the range, where you can hear all the guitars. You're really hearing the shapes immediately, aren't you? When you go to that, you can hear the sweeter high end that the smaller body shape gives. Okay, yeah, it's not got such authority kind of on the low end, but it gives you that really creamy kind of trebly sound, doesn't it, on the top end?
I think I just love acoustic guitars, from really small ones where you just get such a beautiful kind of mellow mid-range, right through to bigger ones which sound great for, you know, if you just want to strum and have the most volume. I mean, I actually find often, you know, OMs and that, you can get, there's still often you get ones which are louder than a Dreadnought, sort of case-by-case basis. But I just love about acoustic guitars that once you open the case, you know, if you buy one of these guitars and it's yours, there's nothing that we're doing here apart from a choice of pick and your own sort of playing style. There's no other things in the chain. So with a electric, you might, you know, hear it and then it's going to sound different through different amps, different pedals. But with these, you know, you're hearing, like John said, you're hearing the body sizes and you're hearing the wood combination and you're hearing the bracing and all the choices the builders have made. But there's no, there's nothing other than what it is. You know, it's wood and strings and it sounds the way it does. And if you get it, you know, it's going to bring you all the same kind of pleasure as it's bringing me playing it now.
Well, why don't we do a quick switch between, because these are both OMs.
Yeah.
So then hopefully we can really hear how the wood,
yeah,
the difference in the wood
so we're going to go
sounds.
between solid rosewood back and sides to solid Sinker mahogany back and sides, and I'll play the same thing.
Yeah, try and do
same
that,
thing
yeah.
on each sim.
Exactly the same, please.
Exactly the same, not a single note different.
No. Beautiful.
Yeah,
That
really
little,
nice.
That little harmonic there for us.
Yeah, it
just
sung,
to,
didn't it? It sung, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to stop him, but we
Yeah,
will.
I'll stop.
We will.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
will.
yeah. I'll stop.
So have we forgotten anything, Alex? I think we've kind of smashed the point home, haven't we? As much as we
Yeah,
as we
a
can.
Dirondack spruce. If you're just tuning in, a Dirondack spruce tops, which you can't normally get, would usually be Sitka on the sort of reimagined and standards. Sinker mahogany or wild grain East Indian rosewood or standard East Indian rosewood, your choice on the 28s.
But not on the 35. Though.
No, that's only the wild grain, extra special all the way. And then low oval modern neck profiles, truss rod for modern adjustability, light scalloped bracing, so very easy to push the top, and herringbone trim.
Yeah. I mean I think the biggest thing about these guitars, why it really makes them so different, is that golden era bracing with the Addy tops.
Yeah.
It really kind of turbocharges the guitar from a standard series into, you know, getting as close as you can get to a pre-war Martin without the price tag, and also
So far away from the
playability.
price tag.
Yeah, playability issues
Yeah.
as well. So
And it's you know, comes with a warranty. It's set up beautifully. You know, again, if you buy a gorgeous old Martin, which will be a hell of an instrument, but often, you know, the people buying those, you know, they're proper touring players. They've got guitar techs. They've got people that they can go and see, get expert advice about neck resets, all that kind of stuff. But this, you know, you've got brand new frets, brand new neck, full warranty. You've got support from us. You know, you're getting a lovely kind of classic Martin sounds, but with just modern. You can rely on it. Yeah.
And I will say there is a small selection of lefties as well to please our lefty.
They
fans
didn't
as
make
well.
all the models in left-handed, but we managed to secure some of them. So yeah, I think they're on the site. The ones we've got are on the site. So yeah, very even rarer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't you play us out with a little tune, Alex, and I'll let the guys do a dodgy fade out.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Because we can't think of how to end it.